Hello. Hi. Welcome to the vlog. Sorry, I think I have it set up, and then I think I mentioned before I have two cameras, and when I switch on the video, it switches the view slightly, but it's still we're good. Oh, forks has fallen down again. So yeah, today I'm actually going to briefly, well, as briefly as I ever try to on these things, discuss a viewer question. I actually had a viewer question, and it's from Tay, and no, he doesn't want me to explore my Teddy collection or anything, although I'm always happy to explore the Teddy collection. No, he actually asked where my accent's from. Now, I'm fairly certain I've been pretty open about being British and living in England, but I realise that I sometimes flux my accent a little, in a way that might not be. I'm not sure where Tay said he's from. Oh, I do know he's a man. He did confirm. Although I do find it unusual that Tay doesn't know instinctively that I'm British, because he discovered me through my Doctor Who streams, which I stream as soon as it has finished broadcasting on the BBC, but maybe he thinks I'm watching them some other way. But no, I am from Britain, Britland, and I actually have a prop, and I've prepared today. This is a Times reference atlas, so it's not topographical, but that doesn't matter for our purposes. And this is the most of England, and there's bits of Scotland. Sorry. Okay, so there's bits of Scotland up here somewhere, and most of Ireland and Northern Ireland are over here somewhere. But for our purposes, this is the most of England, and I am actually I'm on this page, and well, I can't really tell from here, but I looked it up a moment ago, and that yellow blob there, okay, that yellow blob there is London, and I'm about here, in this sort of area. So I'm not Londoner. I am 20 minutes train ride outside London, but I live about this bit here. So yeah, Southeast England. Well, sometimes some websites register as Southeast England, others register as Anglia, but I'm here. I'm just sort of on this kind of the rump bit here of the England Ireland. Obviously this bit's Wales. That bit's over here's Wellington, Wales, roughly. Sorry, about here. I think Wellington, Wales is around about here. So there's that. But yes, I'm from this part. However, I've also lived in this part. So I've most of my life lived in Stevenage, and that's however you slice it. I moved originally when I was about 12. We lived in Peterborough for 2 years, and then we moved to Letchworth. My family is still there, and I moved out finally. Well, I lived in Dorset for 14 months, which is in the thin bit above Wellington, Wales. I lived in Dorset 14 months. I turned 21 when I was there, so moved back to Letchworth for a little while due to circumstance, and basically from 21, 22, I've been living in Stevenage. I've been living in Stevenage for, I'd say, the best part of 3 out of 4 decades I've lived in Stevenage. So yeah, it's where I'm from, but where I used to live in Peterborough for a little while, that is considered, well, it's not the north, it's nowhere near the north, it's not even Midlands, but somehow it feels more northern. They do, it's a bit more country, really, because even though it's a city, it's a bit more country in some ways. I have picked up a few expressions, that's why I sometimes say I instead of yes. And I play with my accent, especially when I'm, when I'm reviewing Doctor Who. I can't do Jodie's accent perfectly, because Yorkshire accent's a funny one, and it's not always easy to do. But I will affect an accent that in my head I think somewhat matches the way she speaks. Or if I'm doing another accented character or person, I will I will tend to flux my accent around depending. Also, just generally when I'm speaking, like my natural speaking voice. I mean, I don't really try to affect an accent or intonation, but I do find that when I'm talking about stuff or talking to someone, especially when I'm trying to get a point across, or you know, a descriptor of some sort, I can not like super posh. You know, I don't get awfully, but I do try and speak in a more precise manner. So, you know, to make myself understood. So, I don't know if the voice that I mostly use on here might be a slightly affected voice accent than the one I would use in everyday conversation. But I try and keep it as natural and normal as possible. I can't, I mean, I'm not like, I can't do Cockney. I sometimes do chap in it because it's funny to do that, blood. Because it makes me laugh. When I was working at the store, we used to get a lot of chavs. So we used to do it in it, blood, yeah? Respect, man, respect. Swear down. And shit like that. So that was just kind of amusing to us. But yeah, this is me, this is my accent, this is, you know, I'm from just, you know, north of London. Kind of a little bit north of London, like I said, 20-minute train. I think it's about 40 to an hour on if you're driving it, depending on, I think there's a couple of different routes you can take. So yeah, but yeah, I'm from South East England, I'm from Stevenage. Apart from when I was living in Dorset, I've always lived in that area of the country, sort of just under the curve of the bump. And I'm okay with that. So, sorry I was meaning to answer his question yesterday, but I sort of forgot because tired and other stuff on my mind. But, yeah, no, Tay, yeah, I hope that answers your question. And if anyone else was wondering, that answers that query. Yeah, and on a side note, Lady is being nice to me today, so I'm not sure if I should be scared or grateful. There you go. There's that. Anyway, shall we see today's question? I think we shall. Alright then. Hello, today's question. Do you have a green thumb? What are your thoughts on gardening and taking care of plants? Let me check. Not really. No, actually I must have done a really good job of cleaning myself. So, the reason it made me smile is, well, first of all, I don't have a garden, so at the moment that's a kind of a moot point. The glue, so basically today, yesterday, and probably until probably until some point in the new year, me and my colleague are boxing up these tubes of what's known as what is called floral adhesive, and it's just a normal white clear gel glue thing, like general purpose thing. I think it's I don't think it's sold on British markets. It's a company called Oasis, and there's a lot of foreign languages on there, which is not unusual for European products, but I think it is more for the foreign market. It's certainly not a glue I recognise by name or sitting on a shelf here in England. But anyway, so this stuff is a clear gel. It's quite, you know, a loose one. It flows pretty fast. And, you know, it dries clear. You know, if you would just put it on some paper or something, it dries clear. Except when it comes into contact with skin. Now, it's not an irritant. It doesn't hurt. Obviously, I'd have more burns. And we're not playing with it. It's just sometimes, because it's in the metal tube, sometimes the metal tubes aren't necessarily sealed up properly, or there's a hole in them somewhere on the line. And it's very rare. There's only like, of the thousands and thousands that we've boxed up already, there's like maybe like 5 that actually had holes in them. And then obviously, because of being where they're in the boxes, a couple of others may have got cross-contaminated. But yeah, so you get this stuff on your hand, and it dries green. So today and yesterday, I've literally had a green thumb, and fingers. But as to gardening, I like it in theory. I like the idea of it in theory, and I've tried having plants before. I've tried growing herbs and having a little potted plant, either that I bought myself because it looked nice, or that I've been gifted one way or another. And they thrive for a little while, and then they slowly sort of die a death. Now I don't know if that's not necessarily because we haven't been taking, because himself likes greenery as well. He likes having stuff. In fact, he said before that if we had a house, he'd probably do more in the garden and actually be the more active gardener. And I'm like, if you want, I wouldn't stop you, and I probably would come out and help him now and again. But so yeah, it's not like he's killing the plants. He tries to keep them nice as well. And I don't know, maybe we're not getting the right amount, the right kind of sunshine here, or we're not maintaining it correctly. But no, I would say for right now, no, I don't have much of a green thumb. I mean, who knows in the future if I ever we ever do get out of here and get a nice house with an actual garden. I do like the idea of a vegetable garden, maybe to grow a few plants just for my own purposes, and then like maybe some flowers and stuff. I like the idea of a calendar. I think I might have caught in a gardening show where they sort of talked about that maybe not necessarily as a calendar, but you have a marked off area either as a grid or as a circle. I quite like the idea of doing it as a circle, where in each section you have different blooms that just in their cycle bloom at different times. So obviously it would take at least a year to plant and cultivate and to get to to a viable self-sustaining status. And obviously the extreme weathers that we've been having recently may not help it, but the idea being that every month at least one section will be blooming and along like we seeding or whatever. But yeah, so in theoretically you'd have more one section sort of either coming into bloom, being in bloom, or sort of coming out of bloom. So you always have a burst of colour somewhere on the circle. So I have ideas about what I'd like in a garden and things I'd like to try, or pay someone to try for me, or get advice on. But me myself, as of right now, no, I don't consider myself to have a green thumb. But either nature and plants and having pretty green things around me, I'm a big fan of. Just not very good at keeping them alive. And I said that's a group effort between the two of us, even though we do sort of try and follow the instructions, it doesn't always work out. So yeah, that's today's question. I'm tired, and he's getting up soon, and my throat's starting to hurt. So I'm going to say, if you have been, thank you for watching, you're awesome and I appreciate you. I've been Michelle, you've been listening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!